Hi there. So today I hope you want to hear a little bit more about this play, Twelfth Night. And I'm going to talk about Shakespeare's secret code, the letters MOAI that are used in this play. Here we have Malvolio, and he discovers a letter that he thinks is from the master or mistress of the house where he works, that is Olivia, and he hopes that it's a love letter addressed to him. In fact, that letter has been written by Maria as part of a joke on Malvolio. The letter contains the letters MOAI as a kind of riddle or code, but nobody's been able to crack the code and to work out exactly what it's doing in the scene. I've done it, and I'm going to talk about it now. So who am I to talk about this? My name is Brett Jones, and I've been published on this code in Notes and Queries. This paper was published in September 2023. 12th Night's MOAI, Le Solution pour Maria's Fustian Riddle. And the reason why I have this heading in French should become clear as we go through. So, in this video about the secret code MOAI, I'm going to talk about exactly where we find the code, then about other existing theories as to what MOAI means. Then I'm going to offer you my solution and explain why my solution fits and why my solution is so much better than all of the other theories. So, where do we find the code? In 12th Night, and it's in Act 2, Scene 5 to be specific. At this point, a trick is being played on Malvolio, the senior servant in Olivia's household. The other servants don't like his attitude very much, so Maria has written a letter for him to find. The letter has been made to look like it's written by Olivia, and it's designed to make Malvolio think that she is in love with him. In fact, Olivia has nothing to do with this letter. It's a forgery on the part of Maria, and a trick being played on Malvolio by the other servants and other people in the household who are not big fans of Malvolio. When Malvolio stumbles upon this letter, which has the handwriting of Olivia, he finds that it's addressed to a mystery person, which of course invites Malvolio to speculate that it could be intended for him, even to fantasize that it might be. His attitude is one of superiority to the other people in the house, which of course makes him unpopular with them. He thinks if he could marry the lady of the house, it would put him in an even more superior position. That's the whole joke. So Malvolio stumbles upon this letter, and here is the script. This is from the first folio. So speech prefix, this is Malvolio talking, and in the italics, he is reading from the letter. So these are words on the letter. Malvolio reads the cover. To the unknown beloved. That's who it's addressed to. The mysterious person, the unknown beloved. This and my good wishes. Then Malvolio starts to speak his own words. Her very phrases. He recognizes, or he thinks he recognizes, Olivia's phrases. By your leave, wax. So it's been sealed with wax, and he opens it. By your leave, wax. Soft, and the impressure her Lucrece, the stamp on the wax, is Olivia's stamp. So he's very convinced it's from Olivia. The very stamp which she uses to seal. 'Tis my lady's, definitely Olivia. To whom should this be? Who should this letter be for? As he does this, he's being spied upon by Sir Andrew Aguecheek, Sir Toby Belch, who is Olivia's uncle, and a new character we haven't seen before called Fabian. I'm going to provide a reason why Fabian suddenly pops up here when we haven't seen him before. And Malvolio continues to read and to be spied upon by those three characters, and he fantasizes about being the beloved mentioned in the letter. So here's Malvolio speaking again, and the italics mean he's reading from the letter. Jove knows I love, but who? Lips do not move, no man must know. And then Malvolio starts to speak. No man must know. What follows? The numbers altered. No man must know. If this should be the Malvolio. And then Sir Toby mocks him from the sidelines. So whispers to the other two out of Malvolio's hearing. And he says, marry, hang thee, Brooke. So Toby is the uncle of Olivia. There's no way he would want Malvolio, a servant, marrying into his family. That's a step above where Malvolio should be. So Toby's quite struck and aghast at Malvolio's impudence. Marry, hang thee, Brock. Brock as in Badger. Maybe Malvolio has a black and white beard. So Toby whispers this to Sir Andrew Aguecheek, who we've seen those two before, and to Fabian, the new character. Maria is not here, you'll note. She's told them about the trick, so they come to spy, but she hasn't told them exactly what's going to happen, and she's not here to explain it to them. So Malvolio reads on, and he comes to the code. Malvolio reads from the letter. So he thinks this is Olivia talking or writing. I may command where I adore, but silence like a Lucrece knife. With bloodless stroke my heart doth gore. MOAI doth sway my life. And Sir Toby and Fabian enjoy the riddle. They talk to each other. Fabian says, a fustian riddle, a stuffed up riddle. And Toby says, excellent wench, say I. This is brilliant by Maria. So they are surprised and delighted to see the riddle. That means Maria didn't tell them about it beforehand. Malvolio attempts to crack the code. What could MOAI mean? Malvolio repeats. He says, MOAI doth sway my life. But first, let me see. He really wants that to be him, he says. If I could make that resemble something in me, can MOAI mean me? Is there any way MOAI could be me? Softly, MOAI. Could that resemble something in me? So Toby and Fabian look forward to seeing him try to crack this riddle. Fabian whispers to Toby, what a dish of poison has she dressed him? She's tempted him into this trap of trying to decipher the riddle. And Toby says, and with what wing the stallion checks at it. Malvolio is flying at this riddle. He's really tempted to crack it because he wants the answer to be me. He wants Olivia to be writing love letters to him. Malvolio continues in his attempt, hoping that he will be the answer to the riddle. So we see Malvolio looking at the letters then. M, Malvolio. M, why that begins my name. But he soon stumbles. He says M, but then there is no consonancy in the sequel. The following letters don't go as they should. That suffers under probation. That doesn't follow as I follow the letters. It doesn't seem to spell out my name. A should follow, but O does. So Toby and Fabian mock him and begin to reference the letters in the riddle too. They begin to pun on them. So you can see Toby say, oh, I make up that. He is now at a cold scent. So Toby and Fabian appear to have cracked the riddle. That's important. Maria didn't tell them about the riddle. They were surprised by it. But they can joke about how close or far Malvolio is from the answer. They can't do that if they don't know what the answer is. So we see Toby say, Malvolio's at a cold scent now. He's lost the scent. He's far from the answer. But Fabian says, sounded at the name of a hunting dog, that hunting dog will cry upon it for all this, though it be as rank as a fox. Like the answer smells so much that Malvolio will catch the scent again and he might just be able to figure out what the answer is. They can only know how far or close Malvolio is to the answer if they know what the answer is. Toby and Fabian think that they've cracked the riddle. Maria didn't tell them what it was. They must have cracked it themselves. Malvolio continues to try to make MOAI fit himself. He says, M, but there's no consonancy in the sequel. A should follow, but O does. And then I comes behind. And again, to crush this a little, it would bow to me. He really wants it to mean me. Could it ever mean me? So Toby and Fabian continue to mock him because they know he's far from solving it, so they know the answer. And we can see many more puns on the letters now. Fabian says, O shall end your hopes. Malvolio started with the M, but thinks A should follow, but O does. Fabian says, O shall end. Toby says, I, yes, or a pun on I. I, or I'll cudgel him and make him cry, oh, a pun on O. Fabian says, I, or yes. And if Malvolio had an I behind him, he might see them laughing at him. Another pun on the letter I. So Fabian and Toby punning on the letters O and I, but missing out the letter A. So what do we have? MOAI, the string of 4 letters. We know Malvolio wants them to mean him. So Toby and Fabian appear to have found the answer themselves based on exactly the same information that the audience has seen in this scene. They are joking about the letters O and I, punning on them, but missing out the letter A. And the other companion, Sir Andrew, is silent here, almost as if he hasn't been able to crack the code. So before I tell you my answer, here are some existing theories. Ing Leinberg has said perhaps MOAI are an anagram of I'm A and O, Alpha and Omega, which is a religious reference. But the surrounding dialogue doesn't seem religious. Why would this be an anagram of that? F.G. Flier has said it's an anagram of IOMA. The J was printed as an I, so this could be the first 2 letters of the first name and surname of John Marston. But again, the surrounding dialogue doesn't seem to add anything to that theory. Lee Sherman Cox said it's an anagram of I am O, pointing towards Olivia, as if Olivia has secretly signed the letter. That's sort of true, except the letter isn't from Olivia, it's from Maria. If Maria has put this code in, Malvolio never cracks it, so it seems a bit pointless. It's a reference that Maria is using to convince Malvolio that it's from Olivia, but he never cracks it, so it's pointless being there, and she already has the stamp and the handwriting to convince him anyway. Onwards to more theories. Peter Smith has said this is a reference to Sir John Harrington's Metamorphosis of Ajax, the J being an I again. But why take the A and the I from Ajax? It should be MOA. Leslie Hodson has rather ingeniously, I think, said Mare Orbis Air Ignis, meaning sea, air, earth, fire, MOAI. But why? And also, mare means sea. Aqua means water. We'd usually hear of earth, air, fire, and water, not sea. And we have Steve Sommer, who has a very convoluted theory regarding Gabriel Harvey. And he thinks that maybe this is a reference to a work by Gabriel Harvey. It includes the words Manus Osculatione Voltum Itali. We are missing words, which makes it hard to square with MOAI, hence the ellipsis there. And also, the V isn't italicized in the original. And, of course, it's not a V in Twelfth Night anyway, it's an A. He has a reason why the V could become an A based on Shakespeare's mistranslating of a word, but it's a really convoluted way. It requires speculation, and I don't think it's correct. My theory is that the letters MOAI are a simple pun, reminiscent of nothing more sophisticated than a Christmas cracker joke. Let's try it. What 4 letters do you get if you ask a French person to spell me? So I have 10 seconds. Well, it's the same 4 letters, MOAI. Or, as they're a French person, they would be saying MOAI in French and is A. Say MOAI, M-O and I, MOI, moi, or me. Moi is French for me. So MOAI is how a French person would say M-O and I, spelling out M-O-I, which is the French word me. So Malvolio would give anything for the answer of this riddle to be me, and it is. Does my solution fit? Well, Malvolio desperately wants it to mean him, and it does. He was there on stage muttering, "Let me see, let me see, let me see. If I could make that resemble something in me." It really does. It precisely matches something in me. Sir Toby and Fabian's puns on the letters O and I make sense. They miss out the A because it's not part of the answer, M-O-I. They have cracked it. So when Toby says, "Oh, I make up that," he's not forgetting the A. He knows the A is and. After the M, the two letters that make up the rest of the word for the riddle, the answer, are O and I. And when Fabian is saying, "Oh, shall end, I hope," and Toby says, "I'll cudgel him and make him cry, oh," they're missing out the A all the time because it's M-O-I are the three letters that are the word that is the answer to the riddle. So Toby and Fabian have solved the riddle so they can see how close Malvolio is to working out the solution for himself. Toby says, "Oh, I make up the answer," and now Malvolio has lost the scent. But Fabian says, "Oh, wait, that hunting dog will find the scent again, for it smells as rank as a fox." And Malvolio starts to say, Malvolio, why that begins my name." Fabian says, "Didn't I say he would work it out? This dog is excellent at faults." "I know it's M-O-I. Malvolio says, he's starting to get there. But then Malvolio says, "But what follows doesn't make sense. A should follow, but O does." And Fabian says, "And O shall end because you haven't cracked the code." Toby puns on the letter I because they know to skip over the A. There we see. And even ironically, we have Malvolio say, "And then I comes behind," just after Toby has said, "I'll make him cry, oh." So Malvolio unwittingly actually spells out the answer as Toby whispers, "I'll make him cry, oh." Malvolio says, "And then I comes behind." Absolutely correct. It is M-O and then I. Why does Sir Andrew, the third man, remain silent at this French pun? The joke is based on a French pun. Sir Andrew has been mocked for his lack of linguistic skills through the play, even before this scene. When we first meet him, he meets Maria, and Sir Toby tries to push him to flirt with Maria. He says, "Accost, Sir Andrew, accost, go and bother her." Andrew says, "What's that?" Toby says, "My niece is chambermaid, go and bother her." And then Andrew says, "It's not Maria here, Maria's the next line." Andrew then says, "Good mistress accost." He doesn't know what the word accost means. He takes it to be her name. He says, "Good mistress accost, I desire better acquaintance with you." Maria says, "My name is Mary, sir." So Andrew says, "Oh, good mistress Mary accost." So he doesn't know the meaning of the word accost. Also, when he's talking with Sir Toby says, "Pourquoi, my dear knight?" Why, in French. Andrew says, "What is pourquoi? Do or not do?" He doesn't know that pourquoi in French is why. So he doesn't know French. And a little later in a different scene, when the clown has finished singing a song, Andrew says, "A mellifluous voice," because he's learned a new word he wants to impress people with. Toby teases him by saying, "A contagious breath." Andrew doesn't know what contagious means, so he says, "Very sweet and contagious in faith." So Andrew doesn't know French, so the part of the joke here is his inability to crack the riddle. But Shakespeare wanted Sir Toby to be there, mocking Malvolio's attempt. So Malvolio needed somebody to bounce off, somebody who also could crack the code, understand understand Sir Toby's puns and pun along with him. So that's why Fabian is a new character here, somebody who could understand the joke and Sir Toby could communicate with. Fabian is a new character in this scene. Shakespeare created him so that Sir Toby had someone to joke with, while Sir Andrew still struggled with the riddle. Also, one final point. In the same forged letter, there is another code. It has already been solved, but it's far too rude to go into here. It involves another short string of letters, a C, a U, and a T. And it also has a pun on a conjunction, the word and, though in English, and how it sounds like a letter, as the A sounds like and in French, and in English can sound like fish and chips, for example. So the C and the U and the T and the and in English sounds like that's very similar to my idea of the M, the O and the I, and the A sounding like and in French. These two jokes follow a very similar pattern. I think MOAI, just as Malvolio wished it, do in fact mean me. He just never was able to crack that code. That's all that I have to say on that topic. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.